Hey guys, it's me, Corey. So you just won a locker on StorageChargers.com and you need to sell your stuff. And the stuff isn't good enough to go on eBay or at an auction, so you gotta go to a flea market or do a yard sale. I'm gonna give you 5 tips and tricks to help you with your sales and also keep you from losing some money. Come check out my tips inside. So the first trick I've learned is something it took a few times of going to flea markets and doing some yard sales to really learn. And that is, pack your van accordingly. You really want to know what your clientele is looking for and what times they come. One thing I was shocked to learn when I started doing the flea markets and yard sales is early in the morning, people come looking for collectibles, artwork, antiques, jewelry, gold, silver, stuff like that. And my van is a little bit messy right now, but when we pack it, we always try and put, the stuff's over there, but we always try and put all the collectibles, antiques, and stuff people that are looking to resell or collectors are looking to buy. We try and put it right here, right where the door opens, so when we're unpacking in the morning, it's the first stuff to go out, and they really want to see that. You don't want to be unpacking children's clothes and household items when you have people looking for antiques and jewelry. You could miss a sale that way because they might look at your stuff, just see some normal kids' clothes or whatever, and walk away to a different vendor. And you're trying to maximize your sales. So if you bring out the collectible stuff that people, at least in my experience, the people early in the morning are looking for, it gives you a better chance of making that sale and making money. Because that's why we do this. We do this to make the money. So let's go on to tip number 2. Another thing I've learned doing this is it's always good to have an item out front or on the front of one of the tables that's going to attract people to your table. So the more people you can get to come over to your area, the better chance you have of making a sale. So one thing I like to bring is a guitar. The prettier the better. This red color really stands out and it attracts a lot of people over. And what people always end up doing when you bring an item like a guitar, there's been times I've brought a statue. One time I brought a statue of Zeus, a big head of Zeus. Hopefully we have a picture of it we can show you quick. But what people end up doing is they see the guitar. And I'm telling you, it's like a magnet. Everyone comes over and goes like this. They go. And then they ask, how much for the guitar? I tell them and they're like, oh, let me think about it. But then they end up seeing something on the table. And usually they'll end up buying something or at least have some interest in something else. So it's always good to bring people to your table, stand out from the rest of the crowd. You don't want to just blend in. You have to really stand out. And the more you can interact with people, the more likely you are to make a sale and earn that money so you can keep buying more lockers. And that's what it's all about. So let's go to tip number 3. As the day wears on, you notice some of the stuff in the back hasn't been getting looked at very often. And it's usually stuff like a household thing of knives, a shower curtain, something you get for somebody you love like your mother or your father, or a best wishes thing. Like household stuff that somebody would put in their living room, like a display piece like that. And you notice that the antiques haven't been getting looked at. So what you do, we call it pushing it forward or rotating it. And what you do is, you don't want to put the antiques too far back, or the jewelry. But usually you keep the jewelry, but you put the antiques a little bit further back, and you take the household items, and you push them forward. And you rotate them forward, whatever you want to call it. And this way, especially later in the day, you have the people looking for more household stuff. Because by this time, the collectors and everything, they've already spent all their money. And now you have the people coming out with their families looking for a few things for around the house. So you push those forward. And most of the time, this really does work. And it increases our sales throughout the day when we start pushing the household items forward. And it gives the people what they're looking for their house. And they get a good deal out of it. Because this is like this. This is a shower curtain that was $9.99 new. It's still new in the box. It's never been opened. And we sell this for $2, $3, $4. Something like that in that area. So they get a good deal. We make money off it because this is something that, this is an afterthought when you're buying lockers. You're looking for that big score. This is just some little thing. And we make good money off it. They get a good deal. And everyone's happy. So let's go to number 4. And number 4 is Everybody loves a good bargain. Everybody. One of our secret weapons is the bargain bin. And usually we have more than one, because we usually have a bargain bin for DVDs, a bargain bin for comics, a bargain bin for toys, and depending, we'll have it for other stuff, baseball cards, this or that. But those are the three main bargain bins we usually have. And what a bargain bin is, it's not right on this one, but normally we write 6 for $5. And what you do is you take cheap DVDs and CDs when you're buying a storage lot, because you always want to look through everything, make sure there's not a good one in there. But you take the ones that you know you can't sell on eBay, and you put, at least for me, I put 6 for $5, and people go crazy. There have been days where we're doing bad, and then later in the day, the people looking for the deals and the bargains come, and they buy 50 DVDs from us at a time. And we end up making, I can't do math right now, but we end up making a lot of money on one transaction, and they get a great deal, and we get a great deal. But it's all because of the bargain bin. People will come, they'll buy 50 comics, they'll buy 50 DVDs, they'll buy a ton of baseball cards. Obviously, we go through all that, make sure there's no good ones in there, because we don't want to be giving away a $1,000 comic book for $1. But at the same time, when you go through them and they don't sell on eBay, which we know eBay is king in this business, but if they don't sell on eBay and they can't sell anywhere else, that's the best way to flip them over. The more money we make, the more lockers we can buy, and that's what it's all about. And let's go to number 5. And number 5 is more of a warning, I guess. It is a tip, but it's always be alert and always be mindful of what's going on in your booth, because it's one of the bad realities about this business. People are going to try and steal from you. I know myself, when we first started doing this, I have a lot of faith in people, and we had a few pieces go missing. And one thing I want to advise, if you are planning on bringing gold or silver and anything higher end, jewelry wise, or even antiques wise, that's not something, obviously if it's a big thing, they can't run off, like they can run off with it, but if it's a big thing, it's harder for them to steal. But if you have smaller items, get a jewelry case. If you know what I mean, we'll put a picture of it, but get a jewelry case. They are a great investment if you're bringing expensive items to the flea market. We personally don't have one because we don't bring higher end stuff to the flea market, but I know there are people that do. It's something you really need to invest in if you are going to bring high end stuff to the flea market. But let's see what people end up doing. At the flea market, especially with the jewelry, what they'll try and do is they'll take one, be like, oh, and then somehow they get it into their pocket. So you always want to try and have eyes on their hands when they're going through your jewelry. You want to make sure they're not, you know, they put their body like this or something, and then all of a sudden they got something in their pocket. It's not always expensive, but the fact they're stealing money from you that you could make, always try and bring at least 2 people with you when you do a flea market to have more eyes on your prizes. So hopefully all those tips helped you guys out or gave you guys something to think about. If you guys have any tips for me, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. StorageTreasures.com. Thank you guys as well. Have a good day.